Me did Yanyante Chua, and maybe I'm discovered for you, Pakuma Busia for Ghana. No, me used to tap send. Tap send. No fee mobile money transfer. Eye easy, eye convenient, eye fast, and sounds so free. Won't you share? Me discover ye mapim. Tap send. Intienne, also download the tap send app no ever mobile phone so free. Nefesi kakomu Busia for Ghana for na. Tap send. Papa no.
Everybody check now. Check it. Check it. The beat is real. Don't wait, make it kill ya. Get your green select glucometer and check it. Sugar level, check it. Check it. Green select glucometer. Check it. Put sugar level for check it. Check it. Reselect glucometer. Everybody check now.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Okay, so let me move on to story number 2. Still here on the Sammy Flex Show, live on Base 1 TV. And remember, you can watch this again at 9 p.m. That is later on in the day. And again, if you also want to get all the files of the Sammy Flex Show, go on to YouTube, subscribe to the Sammy Flex Show now. That is the Sammy Flex TV. Yeah, you can subscribe to Sammy Flex TV on YouTube now, and you get all the files of the Sammy Flex Show to also engage your thinking processes. Now, to story number 2. We are talking about comparison in our showbiz space and how it should be done. And I'm happy this topic is coming in again from another angle. Yesterday in the evening on Sammy Flex TV, that is Showbiz Daily, we had a different angle of a discussion. And this morning I'm so happy that another angle is coming. Some people yesterday condemned the act of comparison, especially when someone is a well-established artist and you are comparing him to a new artist, like comparing Base 1 TV to say GTV and say, hey, Base 1 TV, their pictures are very clear, Papa, but look at the other one, it is some way. That thing some. It is not done in some people's books. Some people also think that, yeah, it is done. Now, I have 2 pieces that I would want to read for you. First is coming from yen.com. Yen.com is also one of the websites they operate in Africa. Now, the story they wrote was that Black Sheriff and 2 youngsters who have relegated Shatta. Listen to the story. Black Sheriff and 2 youngsters who have relegated Shatta. I'm sure they wrote that who have relegated Shatta, Stoneboy, and Sarkodie. And the intro, according to their Facebook feed, reads that the fire of Shatta, Sarkodie, Stoneboy, and other top stars have been quenched by Black Sheriff and other young singers. In the past, Ghanaians were obsessed with songs of the aforementioned renowned singers, but that is not the case now. They are now chasing the shadows of the Kweku the Traveler singer, Kelvin Boy, and Kamido. The young shall grow ampa. This is what the website is saying, yen.com.gh, that Black Sheriff and some young guys, they are now chasing out most of the top guys like Sarkodie, Stoneboy, and Shatta. And I want you to put this one somewhere. Now, let me also read another post. This one taken from Arnold Asamoah Beidu's Facebook page. Arnold Asamoah Beidu is also one of the popular entertainment critics or pundits we have here in Ghana. He is a regular feature on UTV's United Showbiz, and he has a blog on I think it is called GH Entertainment, GH Entertainment, or Entertainment GH, one of them. He has a blog where he writes solid entertainment articles there. Now, this is what he wrote, and I want to read everything. So we will also put together the wisdom from what yen.com wrote and what Arnold Asamoah Beidu is also sharing to have a beautiful conversation. Now, he says, it is befuddling how some artists and their fans dread comparison when they are at the other side of the stick. Wake up. Sarkodie fans do not miss the opportunity to tout the many awards he has won. The fact that he is the most decorated act out there. They tell us all these every day in comparison to others. Fans of Shatta are quick to splatter on any platform available how successful, industrious, and the game changer the artist is in comparison to others. Listen, comparisons are a natural human tendency. Until God directs the angels to sound the trumpet for rapture to occur, forget it and stop the noise. It would stay with us forever. Comparisons are in every industry, from politics, sports, entertainment, everywhere. NDC compares its governing record to NDC all the time. Ronaldo's goal scoring record is compared to others every day. LeBron James' record is compared to everybody's after every single game. The fact is this: comparison can be double-edged. It has positives and negatives. So you can choose where you want to exert your energy on. But under no circumstance should you snarl at the act of comparison. Comparison can have its psychological strain on you to the point where it breaks you. However, it can also be a motivator, a growth enabler, a self-improving process, and a measure of how well you are doing in your field. Choose your sport and project it. But please, you can't stop the act of comparison. You'll be wasting your time. Interesting facts from both angles, yen.com and Arnold Asamoah Beidu on this one. So Arnold thinks that there's nothing like evil when it comes to comparing two people and what they have done, or more people and what they have done. Yen.com also did it. But interesting, yesterday, we also wrote some pieces from Mark Noble, who was also saying that, nobody should try to compare. Like how? How can you compare Shatta to Black Sheriff? Like, are you crazy? Are you going mad or what? Comparing yesterday's Black Sheriff to yesterday's Shatta. That doesn't make sense. Now, I know you might be confused. Who is speaking what? And I also get the opinion of my people. Kojo King will start this one for me. Kojo, let me hear you on this.
The first one, that is from yen.com. It says the fire of Shatta, Sarkodie, Stonebwoy, and other top stars have been quenched by Black Sheriff and other young singers. And this is comparison.
Yeah.
This comparison is badadash.
It's bogus.
It's badadash.
It's badadash. It's gibberish. Claptrap. Hogwash. And strife. It's strife.
Alkaline on Professor.
No, you see, we should, as Arnold said, comparison will always be there. But in his article, he said that it could be negative. So we can condemn negative comparison. For instance, all these artists, either you are young or old, when you are nominated for award schemes, their songs are being compared. Their works under the year of review are being compared. And this is positive comparison. If Black Sheriff comes up today and you want to compare his 1 year reign to somebody like Shatta or Sarkodie, who has been in the game for over a decade, and you want to compare that, this person has taken their shine, what kind of comparison is this? What kind of, on what basis that he has quenched
their fire?
Such balderdash. Hogwash.
Papa break. Clap. From my applied break up. Break. No, okay,
what's the break?
Okay, continue. Yeah.
You see, some of these things, it goes beyond how we see it. let me go into the Bible.
Wow.
Yes. First Samuel chapter 18, verse 5 to 9. Let me read. Whatever Saul sent him to do, David did it successfully. That Saul gave him a higher rank in the army. This pleased all the people and Saul's officers as well. 6. When the men were returning home after David had killed the Philistine, the women came out from all the towns of Israel to meet King Saul, and singing and dancing with joyful songs and with tambourines and leaves. 7. As they danced, they sang, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. 8. Saul was angry. This refrain galled him. They have credited David with tens of thousands. He thought, but me with only thousands. What more can he get but the kingdom? What more can he get by the kingdom? 9. And from that time on, Saul kept a jealous eye on David. These people are creating source for Black Sheriff. And this is some of the things that they do, and they create enemies for these young ones. This guy has started, he's also a Ghanaian. He has prospect. Some of these comparisons. So if a Sarkodie or a Shatta is sitting there and decide to think along like a Saul, what will happen to the boy? Don't forget, these guys need some of these people along the line. The experience they have in this industry. They can get closer and share something. Oh, Charlie, this thing, if you do it this way, this is how it will be. But some people like, who wrote it? The Yen.com guy, who? Do we have the writer?
There are writers there.
Yes.
I think Yemi Baba and Co.
People like this.
Yeah.
They create they create unnecessary problem. Black Sheriff would never say this or write this anywhere.
Never.
Guy is in somewhere comfortably.
Yeah.
And you go and write this thing, and you see the source, they won't channel their energy to the blog.
Yes.
It will go to Blacko.
Yes.
Like Saul said, now what they are going to give him the kingdom. And look at musicians. Everybody want to reign. Everybody want to be on top. Now when they see that, okay, so this is what Ghanaians are saying about this boy, then it means, let's say my throne is even under threat.
Yeah.
So what can I do to defend my throne? So if it is to take somebody off, like what Saul did in the Bible, Saul chased after David, trying to take David off. We don't want this wizardry or witchcraft in this industry anymore. They should let Blacko be. Some of these things is the beginning of the downfall of the many artists that we have lost in Ghana here. When any artist rises up, look at Suzy Williams, Terry Bonchaka, Ebony. When somebody rises, then they start this comparison. He's bigger than this, he's greater than this. Before you know, enemies will start coming after that person. What is all this? If you have blogs, instead of channeling it into proper conversations, proper things that can help us, what is this? What is he has quenched
the fire?
The fire
of Sarkodie. And Stonebwoy.
Couldn't you have given us the number of streams that his music has attained since the last 1 or 2 years, and compare it to that of Shatta or Sarkodie, so that we know that, okay, statistically, this guy is getting streams on Boomplay, on YouTube. Maybe the last 5 songs released by Sarkodie or Shatta, this is the streams academically. Then we can all appreciate it. What do you mean by quench their fire? Are we not seeing, is Sarkodie still not active? Is Shatta still not active?
Active.
So they should spare us this witchcraft. This witchcraft. That's why I quoted the Bible.
You want to
this witchcraft. Before you know, something happened. Before you know, something happened. They should spare Blacko. If he's a Muslim, right?
Yes. Yes.
They should take him to Chief Imam. They should take Black Sheriff to Chief Imam for him to protect him.
Special prayer.
This is Ghana. We know Ghana. We know what they are about. If you see, when talents comes, there are some talents, they come one in the offing.
Yeah.
unique. Terrible Chaka, pa. Everything is moving on. Ebony, Susie Williams, Blacko. You see, those guys are so unique.
That's true.
They are so unique. And this thing starts, yes, of course, and everything is fast. Pack, 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 pack. So everybody's attention is on the person. And so this is the least thing that they need. And I think this one, before the four we must say microphobia says so no they are starting. Oh yeah, no, I trust you. It is a enema back while I swear or no trust bonim so only pay no the yes adin. Shatta is sitting his somewhere in his corner.
Minding their own
business. Black Sheriff is minding his own business. And a blogger or a writer will write this and create confusion for the person. So if Shatta is thinking of, oh, Charlie, what can I do to even help Blacko? Then some of these things, we are humans. At times, some of these things get to us. Imagine somebody comparing you to a baby in an Oregon. So, Nana Regan is doing more than Sammy Flex. Yes, you might, we are human. It can get to you at a point. And maybe you will not tell Nana Regan, but certain things that you want to do for Nana Regan, you start drawing back. So if I give you more, then it means with time. Because if you tell the source story, he appointed David to go for the war. He empowered him, elevated him to the higher rank, and his own people now was singing the praise of David against Saul upon all Saul did. Haven't we boast of Shatawale? Haven't we boast of Sarkodie before? How long has Blacko been in the system? He needs a decade. These people have crossed the decade line. He needs to cross. There's a lot in this journey. It is not by joke. All you can do is to pray for the guy. Pray for the guy to for what we are envisaging or what we are imagining in our eyes, our minds, it should come to pass. Not some of this. We have to treat it with the content that it deserves. We have to condemn it vehemently. We have to let him know that some of these articles, we are not ready for them in times like this. If you can't use your blog positively, be in your corner. Don't create unnecessary beef and enmity and all this conflict among musicians. So again, Blacko, they should take him to the chief imam for special prayers.
I see.
I'm done, Honorable.
All right, thank you so much. His name is Kojo King, delivering vociferous on this one. And I want you to know that we are doing this not to support any particular person in question, but we are doing this to protect the whole industry, because like he said, it could be you, it could be him, it could be another person some time to come later. That's why we are saying that these things are not necessary. When you read the write-up of Arnold Asamoah Bedu, as much as he did not condemn it, he said based on where it is coming from and how it is coming, and I want someone to pay attention to that. As much as he did not condemn it, he was still particular about how it comes. He said it cannot stop. Comparison can't stop. But how are we doing it? Okay, in the year 2000, some young people came to the industry and they saved maybe the hip life scene. Today, hip life is doing well. Thanks to Blacko, 2022, a young boy is also doing very well. When you say this, will someone be offended? No one will be offended. But this is also another form of comparison, as a matter of fact. But when you say, oh, 2000, in the year 2000, when this guy came, blah, 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 blah. But when 2002 came and Black Sheriff came, this, that is how I'm sure it becomes offensive some way, somehow. Well, Nana, we're going to speak next on this. Nana, what do you think? Comparison, as much as some people think it is good, others are also confirming that we should not even try it at all.
Well, first of all, let me tell Senior Arnold that, in fact, nobody is arguing that comparison, we can end comparisons or, stop it entirely. What we are doing is to condemn what he termed or wrote as negative comparisons. It doesn't help the industry to grow very well. So we are trying to look at, okay, which type of comparison will contribute to a healthy
positive
growth,
one, yeah.
positive growth of the industry. That is exactly what we are doing. So, like Kojo mentioned, in our WASP, we are doing comparison. That is why we have year under review. So you check from January 1st to December 31st, which artist did what. This one did this one did that. This one got here, did A, B, C, D. We are doing comparison. That is why at the end of the day, people will vote based on certain numbers and say, okay, let's give this award to this person. It is comparison. You understand? And such a comparison is a positive one in the sense that at the end of the day, it is going to inspire, motivate somebody to also work hard or work right to also achieve some of these things that other people are achieving. So if we sit here and look at or normalize a comparison like what Yen.com has wrote, it is just going to breed hatred and bitterness among people. Let's not forget that in our industry, there are people on or in certain management or in certain camps of artists that they are also team members or management members. They are board members of schemes, certain companies, or they have affiliation and association with certain companies that still wants to work with other people.
Yeah.
So if you make such comparison, like I just said, we are human beings. Sometimes certain things get to us. If I'm managing Roland, and then after Roland have been in the industry for over, let's say, 2 decades, and then somebody is rising, and then you want to be making such I don't want to use rubbish comparison. Like if you are making such statements, then in a way it will get to me, because after 2 decades, it has not been an easy journey. So if you want to rubbish my artist's effort or disrespect his effort in that 2 decades, it would definitely get to me. So if I am in a certain meeting or on a certain board, and we are talking about, let's say, another artist, the same artist you use to compare to my artist, and then maybe there's something that the artist needs to get, I can stand in the artist's way. Maybe I might not show it, or I might not say it openly that, oh, okay, based on this reason, I'm saying we should not give this to this person. But in my head, in my mind, I might oppose to it. And at the end of the day, it is going to affect that young artist. And this thing, it is happening. It's a reality that's happening around us every day that people don't pay attention to. Some of these comments, if you want to make comparison with young guys to people, at least in your write-ups, learn to appreciate the efforts of those who have been there for a very long time. Today, I said on Showbiz Daily yesterday that we cannot sit here and compare Pedri or any young player to Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. Just like that. It should come with a clean motive or a positive basis that, okay, maybe we are comparing when Cristiano Ronaldo was 19 years and Pedri was, let's say, also 19 years. We want to see, okay, go send an Osher, assist send an Osher, then we can end it there, because Pedri has not crossed that, even that, let's say, a decade crowd before. For you to say, oh, he can be consistent and be better than Cristiano Ronaldo. You can't say that. So if you make it look like, oh, he is better than Cristiano Ronaldo, that is disrespect. It is not comparison. You are just disrespecting the person. And I've said it that most of these people, they make such comments or put up such write-up because they have personal issues with some of these people.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
They want to settle.
Yes.
So they use some of these write-ups just to settle.
So, see, we are humans. There are journalists or writers or bloggers who don't like Shatta Wale. There are bloggers and writers who don't like Sarkodie, who don't like Stoneboy, who don't like Black Sheriff. So people will make arguments based on that too. And these are the things we are trying to condemn. It is not generally like comparisons. No. We want to make sure that, okay, if you are making comparisons, make it on the right basis that nobody at the end of the day will take offense and be bitter about somebody. We are in this industry every day preaching about how can we come together and you know, have a positive drive for the entire industry. At the end of the day, individually, we have different drives. We have different visions as artists, as actors, as actresses. But we still need a collective goal to push an agenda. And if we start making such comments and disrespecting the legends and the pace setters and all these people, we cannot get that
that support.
Yes, that support or collective thing that we wish for. So all we are asking is that people can go ahead and be making comparison. If you read the Yen write-up, clearly you could see that he did not even appreciate the efforts of these people he was comparing Black Sheriff with.
Yeah.
They did not do that, and that is what makes it a negative, or offensive comparison. Because if I am Shatta and you want to compare somebody to me, at least I have certain albums, I have certain streams,
some track
records. Compare those things. Don't just pick one thing, and then you want to base on that one thing and say entirely the person is doing better than me now. Like how? Black Sheriff Wabo Stadium Showbiz that. People have said, you see, sometimes they shouldn't push people to start making certain comments out. They will also look like, oh, any parade on also Black Sheriff as a man. You shouldn't do that because this is where it will lead to. When you start making such comparison, it will lead to and the answer the boy and it will go around and come back to then Charlie, we need to stop this boy from achieving this. Yeah, man, into me in Philly conference center. No, and these things are happening. It is happening in our industry. So if you want to stop it or avoid it or minimize it, then some of these early premature ejaculation about artists and how they are doing. Black Sheriff is doing fantastic. Let's push him. Let's write articles that will push Anka. Ebiane say audio mark Akako's in Nigeria. Instead of doing this comparison, why don't you write a profile to tell us why Black Sheriff is a Ghanaian and where he started from and how he is going, so that if audio mark stars are doing research, they can end up getting the right information. But look at the comparison you have started and they've quenched what fire. Also. You get it. So let's get if you want to do the comparison, let's get the facts right. Even then they tell a crap to on paper. We can tell you Cristiano Ronaldo. I think now Cristiano Ronaldo is the highest goal scorer in football history. But me a short person no po can one can ya. Some of these legends, they will take offense to it. Into who year comparison now, yet do it and do it well with the right basis. Until at the end of the day, let the motive be clear that we are doing it should come up to any comparison that doesn't motivate or inspire somebody to work right or hard. It's a bad comparison, negative.
I think I like this quotation that any comparison that doesn't inspire someone to work hard. It's bad. It's negative. It is negative.
It's not negative. It's witchcraft.
You understand? It should rather encourage me to Sammy Flex has done this comparison about bloggers, writers, and clearly, if I look into it, yes, this is true. Zion is doing this. This Ameya is doing that. Kobiche is doing right. Roland is achieving this. So at the end of the day, instead of me hating on them, I would rather sit back and look at the things they are doing right and say, let me also learn and do the same thing, so that next year, if Sammy Flex is doing the same thing, he can also say, Nana Reagan is also up and he is doing this, he is doing that. Then the next person behind me will also learn like that. So we shouldn't make it look like comparison. I have to hate Ameya, I have to hate Zion because I think Zion is getting some things, or maybe Sammy Flex is praising Zion so much more than he is praising me. So some of these things are just unnecessary. We cannot stop comparison, but we can minimize negative comparisons.
All right, beautiful analysis there from Nana Reagan, Beef Nation president. He calls himself. I'm going on straight to Roland Amate, and after Roland Amate, I'll be reading some of your messages on WhatsApp and again on Facebook. Facebook is active now, so you can join us on Facebook, Base One TV, and be part of the conversation. This is what I enjoy: discussion. You talk, I talk, I talk. We put ideas and knowledge and wisdom together. Then we also form our own opinions here. This is the Sammy Flex Show, live on Base One TV, better than ever. Finally, let me hear from you before I read the messages.
Anyone who doesn't like comparison doesn't like growth. Because yes, even if you want to grow, you compare your present to even your past. Personally, it is a competition more. Obviously, you are going to compare yourself to others so that you would know how far you've come. You know, it is because of some of these statements. When Stonebwoy made Sammy 40 years statement, it is because of some of these statements. Yes, when he said that most people
it will take 40 years for the industry to have some people like him.
Yes. When he made that statement, so many people didn't understand. It was because of some of these comments. And yet, this is not comparison. This is disrespect. This is disrespect. Because if you say you want to do comparison, okay, and you still want to have Blacko, Kelvin Boy, Camido against the Stonebwoy, the Shatta and the Sarkodie one, there are better ways they could have done this comparison. Simple. These people have been in the game some have been in the game for a decade, some have been over a decade. So, if you want to compare them, why don't you make projections or ask questions as to how some of these people who are vibrant now are also going to be in the next decade? This is how you compare them, and you even inspire them to work more. Because if Sarkodie has been in the decade in the industry more than a decade and is still relevant, and you want to push somebody like Camido against Sarkodie, ask the boy, where do you think you want to be in the next 10 years? Yes! This is very simple.
Or even if the boy is 2 years in the industry now, pick Sarkodie's first 2 years.
Yes, and make that comparison. And so if in Sarkodie's
even that one, I still think that the metrics won't be the same.
Exactly,
but
because
when Sarkodie was
there are so many
2
things
years then, and now 2 years, the metrics have changed.
So
some things are not equal
so you
anymore.
see, yes, technology come to enhance whatever we do, to help us or better us. Okay, so during Sarkodie's first 2 years in the industry, he didn't have this, he didn't have that, he didn't have audio.
And those who come in your
and
right.
You see, when people wanted to rubbish the whole industry's achievements against what Black Sherif had achieved with regards to topping charts in Nigeria, I said people should stop that kind of comparison. Why? Because when the likes of VIPs and TikToks were topping charts in Nigeria, there was nothing like Spotify or Apple Music to make some of these charts for us to know. So you see, if you want to celebrate the boy, celebrate him, but don't make some of these comments, don't instigate them against their heads, because sometimes they would need some of these people. They will need their coaching. They will need advice from some of them, because these people have been in the game for long. Even people, excuse me to say, who seem to have failed, vibrant, they even look like charity cases in Pono, have good advice to give some of these guys.
Exactly.
Because the likes of Black Sherif, Camido, Kelvin Boy, vibrant, they've quenched the fire of some of these people. No. So what is wrong? What is wrong in saying that aside the big S's, now we have
big thing.
We have another huge camp topping on some of these big S's. These are things that even build, because they are minimally say when Tu Baba was big, Tu Baba still is being revered in Nigeria.
Of course.
Angelique Kidjo, as old as she is still revered in Benin. Until say another young musician young can say, okay, or no vibrancy no, they make sure that whoever comes up, Wizkid is very relevant, the video is very relevant, Omale is very relevant. But then Afro Nation, P Square a special guest. Whereby they came before all these artists came.
Okay.
But Omo a special guest. Why? Because of Omo level, any experience Omo one. You don't, even when you want to compare, make sure it's okay. What for nipa we first year? What for Blacko second and also the first year? Okay, in Sarkodie's first year, he was able to do this and that. And in Blacko's first year, he has also been able to do this and that. Looking at what the kind of advantages Blacko has to himself now, we are projecting that maybe, or we want to even project that maybe in the next 10 years,
he will be this.
Yes, he will be this or that.
At this level.
Exactly. That is the kind of comparison that you need to do. Say the bit may inspire some of these young ones. Into your children says Stoneboy Koka say some of these artists, it will take them 40 years to even achieve what they've even done in 5 years or 10 years. Then they shouldn't see this as maybe an insult to them, but rather a motivational speech, because obi awaya there in 10 years ekacho say one year e betimi do 40 years, then that means what you have to do is to sit down, look at what the person is doing right or did right and did say. Look at what you are also doing currently. Measure yourself and see, say with sad year me with this parameters I me share. If semi continue say will I be able to meet the person? Today we are saying say we are quenching these guys have quenched the fire of this Shatta and Stoneboy and Sarkodie. But let's ask say, would they also be able to achieve even that decade mark now these guys have been able to achieve?
That's what it makes sense.
Because these guys also started vibrantly as and you said they are Black Sheriff join we've seen pass. But the question now is sustainability.
Can they stand the test of time?
Exactly. Because last time Black Sheriff in sense Sembaye people I heard some arguments baby Monka say, oh, the boy is going to overcome some of these things, he is going to go, he will do this, he will do that. Me say no. Don't say that for a fact. All you have to do is to pray for him.
Okay. Because
even the guarantee crown pose obejinem even in 5 years can any ho sir. We've seen people who came so vibrant say and yes like due to some circumstances be a artist with management even natural circumstances like death any idea they bet me out to
yeah.
Kudokina mentioned Susie Williams, Cherry Bonchaka, the late Ebony. These are people that 1 year, 2 years, pow, no call. 1 year, 2 years, pow, no call. So we can't be sure. All we have to do is to pray for these people.
So they can stand the test.
Yes. Because any natural cause is important. The person can lose their voice. We've seen somebody like Adina, close to 2 years battling throat cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. Natural
causes make me take effect, and these people will just die out.
I see. Was Adina battling throat cancer? That was Majid Michelle. Adina was rather a female.
A fibroid. Okay, female. Say no crown put another natural cause. A bit
slow down.
A bit slow. Carry her down.
I think she went to South Africa
for surgery.
Yeah.
It is a bibi sana ya mompire my guys and we rather want to pitch them against their old guys and say they've quenched the fire. Quench which fire? Because these guys are still active.
If they don't know, they should go and ask Balotelli.
Guys, thank you so much. Wonderful delivery by all standards. Kojo King, thank you. Nana Reagan, thank you. Roland Amate, thank you. Before I got this message from Sammy Rasta, who is one of our own here on this platform, and he is on a different tangent though. He says, bro, I agree with all what my brothers are saying in the studio, but have we asked ourselves who caused some? When Shatta fans did same to Mobo Award winner Samini, we were all encouraging that. When Shatta was insulting Reggie Rockstone, a living legend, like Roland mentioned, to Baba, we kept quiet because it was Shatta who is untouchable. Remember, I once told you at the old house that Shatta should be ready for the worst, because when you throw a ball to the wall, it comes back to you. And he adds that I have arrested my case here. This is how Sammy Rasta arrested his case. I know when I give you guys a chance, you guys will come after Sammy Rasta.
People disagreed with Shatta.
I know you guys
It was
like
not
give
for
the
everybody
chance.
that was.
I don't know if I give the
I'm
chance.
even more concerned about Reggie Rockstone here. Me, when the time he
People condemn
disrespected
that.
Reggie
People
Rockstone, I am one
condemn
of the people who condemn that totally.
Okay.
Because meaning say yes, it will get to a time him Shatta will get there.
Also endure it.
Yes,
eh?
and when somebody comes at him like that, he will get people coming to his defense. So that one, yeah, it was a low blow for Shatta Wale.
Okay, guys, thank you so much.